sports, 100% reflective. Sometimes it's Raven. Sometimes it's other teams affected. Hold on tight, strap in. It's gonna get hectic. Couch Rider Report, an original sports perspective. Welcome back to the home of original sports perspective from our couch to yours. This is your host, the couch writer Raven, Jermaine Lockett. Hey, I appreciate y'all coming through. If it's your first time here, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and smack that bell for your boy so you know when it's going down. Hey, today let's just talk. Let's just talk. Today we saw some highlights from the tight ends. A lot of things went through our mind, just different questions, because when you saw that who was throwing the ball to the tight ends, of course it was Lamar. He loves throwing the ball to his tight ends. But when the backups were on the field, they were throwing to the wide receivers a good deal as well. Now the question is Lamar Jackson going to be able to get that chemistry with his wide receivers like he has with his tight ends? And one of those tight ends that I wanted to talk about today came across my mind because the Ravens released a depth chart. Jonas Schaefer retweeted it, and on that depth chart it says that Eric Tomlinson is above Josh Oliver. So I'm looking at that depth chart, I'm like, why? What does Eric Tomlinson have that Josh Oliver doesn't? So just taking a look at that, I wanted to go look at some tapes. I went and looked at a lot of individual games for these guys, whether it be Tomlinson for the Jets or watching some of San Jose State for Josh Oliver. I wanted to take a look at the tape on that just to see what the strengths were, what the weaknesses were. And when you look at tight ends, so I look at agility, pass blocking, run blocking, route running, hands, speed, size, release, yards after the catch, health, toughness, and age. I'll be honest with you, the age is a factor when it comes down to it, you know. So we're looking at, we'll start off with the easy one with age. So I'm putting check marks and I'm putting no check mark on the other guy. So let's just say Oliver has the youth. Tomlinson is 29 years old. Here's another item that you probably don't know about Tomlinson versus Oliver. Oliver has all his toes. Tomlinson might be missing two. There are reports saying that he dropped a weight on his toe and lost. All right, he didn't say lost. It said lacerated two, and he had to have emergency surgery. And I'm like, was it surgery to permanently remove the toes? Was it to reattach the toes? Not really sure. But the guy may be operating with two less toes than Oliver. So there's a hands up right there, or a foot up, let's say. In those categories, I want to look at both of them. And then when I looked at the tape on both of these guys, when it came to agility, it was clear as day that you could see agility, Oliver won. When he comes off the line, you can see the wiggle, you can see the fluidity or fluidness of Oliver versus Tomlinson. Next category was pass blocking. So I'm pretty sure the Ravens picked up Oliver for his abilities in the receiving game and not necessarily in the run blocking game, but that's something that he's going to have to learn. Pass blocking he's going to have to learn as well, because the Ravens aren't going to they're going to have personnel sets, but at the same time, there may be changes and he may be expected to adjust based off of injuries or just simply how they're going to run that particular play. Tomlinson has Oliver beat in both categories of pass blocking and run blocking. The next category was route running. You could see when Tomlinson gets off the line, it's usually on a free release. At least most of the tape that I was watching, he would free release off the line with nobody was there to press him, chip him, nothing. And so he just had a decent, it was a free release. I mean, there's no opposition or anything like that. So until I can look at some more tape and see what this guy can do, I'm not going to say he has he can get off the jam or anything. But his route running, he was running mostly skinny seams and screens from the tape that I was looking at. And then when it came to Oliver, I mean, he was just all around. You know, he was running things in the flats, he was running things in the seams. The route running, he was just finding holes in the open space. It was just nice to see what he could do. Very good pass catching tight end. So I gave Oliver the ups on the route running. So right now we're looking at the scores like 2-2 here. Oliver with the agility and the route running, Tomlinson with the pass blocking and the run blocking. So we have the hands. I thought both of them were equally skilled when it came to the hands. Not too many drop passes. I was very impressed when I looked at the individual videos of these guys. They will, when the ball's thrown their way, they will go ahead and snag that thing down. Oliver, more athletic, circus-type catches, and then Tomlinson, more the basic, hey, but he gets it done type of deal. When it came to the speed, it definitely was a difference. I wouldn't say big of a difference. Neither one of them are going to be. They're not running like Tyreek running around here. It was a 4.64 40 and a 4.7 40. So Oliver had the 4.64 and Tomlinson had the 4.7 40. So you can definitely see the difference in the speed, and it shows clearly on the film. Like, hey, yeah, this guy's definitely faster. The size, there's definitely a significant size difference. One is 6'4", one is 6'6", and that would be Tomlinson being the bigger guy, 6'6", to 6'4", so he gets check mark there. When it comes to release, like you can see that there's a good release, or a good mix of releases, like I said before, when it comes to Oliver. And then, like I say, it was mostly free releases for Tomlinson. It wasn't a clear, like, hey, I can see that this guy can get off of the press or any type of chips or whatever. But they did, I looked up some reports on a couple of websites, on Walter Football and a couple of other websites, that said once he's chipped, he has trouble getting back onto his route because he just completely caught off guard and wasn't expecting it and just wasn't able to adjust very well once he gets chipped. Yards after catch, they had their different ways that they get the yards after the catch. Tomlinson wanted to build a head full of steam and just completely lower his shoulder, lower the boom, and I like that. But at the same time, Oliver had the shiftiness, and he still applied a good stiff arm when he wanted to get upfield, and he was always leaning forward as he was falling, trying to get that extra yard. So, I like what Oliver brings to the table. Very excited. But I also like Tomlinson because he just has that mentality like, I'm going to run you the heck over, and I lay the wood on you. You're going to be feeling pain after I catch this ball. But he has to build up in order to get there. And then there's the health issue. This is the contest here because they're comparing injuries here. So we have a foot history, ankle history with Tomlinson, and of course he dropped a weight on his foot. I want to say it was in 2018, so he's put on IR, and I think he had that emergency surgery. And then you have Oliver, who's had a hammy, a back, and a foot issue. Hopefully these guys can stay healthy. We're going to need all the tight ends we can get healthy this season. And then it comes to the toughness. Right? I'm looking at toughness on the tape. It definitely looks like Oliver is that finesse player, and Tomlinson is that dirty grinder that Baltimore loves, that blue-collar type guy. Oliver might be the pretty boy, but when it comes to toughness, I got to give it to Tomlinson. And yes, we got to look at the experience. We don't have much experience over there with Tomlinson. Of course, with the 29-year-old that we're comparing this to, Tomlinson has had 51 games, 17 receptions, and that is totaled up to 194 yards and 1 touchdown. So let me just get the front end and back end of that. 51 games, 1 touchdown. So we know he's definitely a blocking tight end. I think that's why he is ahead of Oliver on the depth chart right now. And it's because they need those talents because Boyo is still on the PUP list. This is the home of Original Sports Perspective. From our couch to yours. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and smack that bell so you know when it's going down. Appreciate y'all coming through. Have a great night. Peace.